Hello, my name is Katie and welcome to Blackheart Gaming Channel. This is my first time doing a game playthrough for this channel or for YouTube in general. I'm going to be playing Lucid 9 today, and it's a visual novel focused on a web of intricate mysteries set in the fictional 2018 metropolis of Izumu. Lucid 9 Inciting Incident is the first part of the story, focused on a string of disappearances that occur at a prestigious uppity boarding academy. Alright, so let's start. I step back and examine my masterpiece. Perfect. My favorite color. I've always loved red. It's different. Brilliant, vibrant, unusual, a happy anomaly. Just like me. It's a little creepy. I don't know what's going on, but red isn't much for nature. Really only shows up in autumn, and even then, it's a dreary rust or nauseating cherry. And we just can't have that, not when it deserves so much more. A whispering breeze filters through my thoughts, brushing against my skin with icy fingers. I allow myself a moment to pause, to relish, to admire, to welcome the fresh scent of freedom. This is what I live for. When I open my eyes, I spot a frail leaf dancing upon the backbone of a passing wind, afflicting the world with its appalling shade of asparagus. I pluck it from its branch with the edges of my stained fingernails. Disgusting. How anyone could enjoy this color eludes me. A soft groan redirects my attention to my waiting masterpiece. It's lovely, really. Spread across the ground, face contorted with fear, twitching, cold fingers clutching at empty air. Oh my gosh. Okay. Not my best work, unfortunately. The canvas died much quicker than I had originally expected, even when I tried to carve a bit slower. Ew. Well, no matter. Today it shall be a palette for my paint. I make quick work of my new palette's chest, ignoring the twitching of post-mortem reflexes from its mutilated kneecaps. The sweet color of red, true crimson, pure scarlet, slinks down its pallid abdomen, licking at the blossoming turf below. I dip my finger into the settling pool of blood. It's warm, sticky like syrup, or settling gelatin. The sweet scent wafts to my nostrils. Ah, it smells of iron, of rust, of all things sharp and beautiful. Now, a new canvas. I check my surroundings, evaluating the surfaces and textures and sizes and shapes of every object in sight. None are quite so satisfactory as human skin with its elasticity, its porous absorption, its innately warm tint. But a substitute is required, so a substitute I must find. Presently, I realize that I'm still holding that eyesore of a leaf in my hand. Well, I suppose it will have to do. In one bold fluid stroke, I swipe my paint across the leaf, the very essence of Van Gogh himself. Ah, yes, dear Vincent, the man cut off his own ear to send a message when words didn't suffice. I always admired his style. I take a moment to appreciate the leaf's newfound radiance before searching for a proper display. Something like this deserves to be exhibited. I hang my canvas back on its branch. That's better. If only there was more of this color in the world. The unexpected interlude of my phone drives me out of my thoughts. The irritating thing just loves to ruin the climax. I like the ringtone though. Yes? Is it done? You're always in such a rush. Well? Yes, it's done. I was having a moment. There's more where that came from. You interrupted me. You're the one who wanted to know when it was finished. I don't know who's talking, but a thrill leaps through my veins as my lips pull into a tenuous smile. Well, is it? Same time, same place as usual. You know the drill. I nearly clap my hands, but master myself for one final word. Understood. I cut the transmission and eagerly withdraw a small bottle from within my jacket. Only one pill left, but no matter. I'll be getting more soon enough. I popped the final capsule into my mouth, puncturing its skin with my teeth and rolling the bitter gel over my tongue. Now this is life. What are we getting high here? As a wave of euphoria sweeps through me, I turn from my handiwork strolling out of the meadow. Today's fun is over, but tomorrow will hold just as many pleasures. Oh my god, what an opening. Yama? Ishimoto? Huh? I sluggishly pull my head upward, fixing my eyes on the woman at the front of the classroom. Are you even listening? I hide an instinctive smirk. Technically, no. I've always found napping more appealing than relearning history that's been drilled into me since age 6. Not that I can actually say that. In all honesty, this teacher doesn't deserve that kind of callous response. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Summarize the whole section we've been reviewing. I glance at the touch screen board mounted behind the teacher, quickly skimming over the graphics and typography hovering on its surface. I might mess up some words, but History of Izumo, our glorious metropolis beginning 2000 AD. Ah, easy. Life was really boring for a while. We weren't in debt, weren't at war, and we're basically doing nothing interesting. The teacher's lips purse into a thin line as the classroom erupts into snickers. I feel the slightest tinge of regret and rein in my sarcasm. Then in 2007, America entered a debt crisis that caused a worldwide financial crash. Japan was one of the countries most affected by this, well, second to China. And why might that be? Because we were dumb about who we partnered with. She taps her fingers impatiently on her desk, her eyes narrowing into slits. Well, she asked me to summarize the chapter. She didn't ask me how. Anyway, our glorious government didn't handle the situation so hot. So we had a lovely depression with all-time highs of unemployment and crime. Good effort, gold star. He's a little sarcastic. The teacher waves her hands as the class roars with laughter. Right, that's enough. I'll be needing to talk to you after class about your attitude, young man. Ooh, we're in trouble. Meh, in other news, grass is green. Elizabeth, perhaps you can salvage this explanation. Oh, she's cute. She gestures a few seats to my right where my lavender-haired classmate sits, her spine as straight as a ruler. I feel a curdle of distance in the pit of my stomach as I lounge against my chair. Of course, Elizabeth Oshiro, class valedictorian, school poster child, and the area's golden girl. Nap time. I settle my head in my arms as Elizabeth leaps to her feet, smiling warmly. Certainly, during this time, Japan fell into chaos. Public demonstrations, often violent, occurred almost every day. Furthermore, political scandals regarding the national government kept spreading. The teacher relaxes at Elizabeth's textbook recitation. She even shoots a quick glare in my direction, as if to say, see, why can't you be like Elizabeth? I'm lazy. Eventually, local political powers became more effective than the centralized administration, hence why Izumo operates as smoothly as it does. Yes, thanks to the mayor's efforts. Perfectly done, Elizabeth. Elizabeth smiles primly and settles back into her seat, fixing her eyes on me with challenging disapproval. What? What did I do? I only shrug my shoulders, sending her an easy smirk. Oh, beautiful and brainy. She might be worthy enough to make my list. I glance to my left just in time to catch another classmate, Yahiko Ikari, winking conspicuously at Elizabeth. She clearly ignores him. Well, that's Yahiko for you. I can't remember a day when he hasn't tried to flirt with some girl or another, nor can I remember a day where he wasn't flat out rejected. Technically, he's my former roommate, which makes him my friend of 2 years. How close of a friend? Well, that's up for debate. Huh? She managed to deflect my charms. I wonder how. Me too! No one can resist the Yaiko Akari. Yaiko! Yaiko clamps his mouth shut at the teacher's strident command. She leans heavily against her desk, massaging her temples with her fingers. Alright, class. Thanks to Elizabeth, we've seen where we come from. I'm sure you're all wondering what the point of this history recap was. Not really, no. We must study the past to understand the future. As such, it's imperative that the next topic be taken seriously. So, where do all you see yourself in 10 years from now? I'm barely able to stifle a snort. It's only, what, the second day of school? Sure, this is a third-year class, sure. We're preparing for college entrance exams. Does that mean we have to know exactly what we want to do for the rest of our lives? I was the same way in high school, I didn't know what I was gonna do, so... The teacher pointedly looks at me, a hard glint in her eye. Yama Ishimoto? Perhaps you'd like to get us started. I'm tempted to say, no thank you, but that'd be pretty rude. I'll manage my parents' restaurant, I guess. The teacher's lips tighten ever so slightly. I know what she's thinking. No passion, no ambition. He will be a failure, this one. It'll pay the bills, what more can I ask for? Really, dude? Out of anything you could have picked, you picked a restaurant manager? Well, what would you suggest? Add a bunch more, dude, like women and cars. And he criticized me for lack of imagination. Come on, it's 10 years, anything can happen. The teacher shoots him a disapproving glare as his voice raises dramatically in volume. Ah, Yaiko, thank you for volunteering. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Yaiko beams, and I feel a sudden sense of dread. Here goes his dream, the one that I've heard no less than 200 times before. Okay. Well, Teach, I see myself with a Ferrari F500 under one arm, a Lamborghini Aventador 704 under the other, and a lot of beautiful women in between, fighting for the honorable privilege of bearing my children. Wow. The class stares at him. Ah, heck, let's have some fun. I whisper to him. What about the mansion? Right, take all that and put it in front of a 20,000 square foot mansion attended to by staff of 1,000 maids. And where is it located? Oh, it's on the Caribbean, on an island. A man-made island specifically constructed just for me, with my laser name engraved into the hill so that every plane that flies by sees that it belongs to. That's quite enough, Yaiko. Thank you for your, input. Clearly, she doesn't believe in his dream. Actually, I don't think anyone except for Yaiko believes in his dream. Then again, Yaiko has enough belief to make up for everyone else. Now, Umiko, what about you? As the rest of our classmates drone on about joining some kind of mega corporation like Lemniscate or Way Forward Pharmaceuticals, I lean closer to Yaiko. You forgot some things. I did? The yacht, the walk-in closet just for designer shoes, the private jet, a second mansion in Tahiti. Oh crap, I did! Hey, Teach! Fortunately for the teacher, the school bell rings before he can grab our attention. I like him, he's kinda cool. My classmates immediately shove their belongings into their bags and bolt for the door. Meanwhile, Yaiko heads straight for the teacher's desk, eyes lit with excitement as he jabbers on and on about his yacht and his designer shoes and his private jet and his second mansion in Tahiti. A restaurant manager, huh? And then there's Elizabeth, slipping into Yaiko's now vacant seat. She shifts her backpack's weight to the desk and raises a patronizing eyebrow at me. Well, sorry for being realistic, Miss CEO of a mega corporation. Sorry that I actually have ambition, Mr. Manager of the family restaurant. Is she mad at me? What did I do? What? Should I have talked about having a mansion and cars and maids on my own personal island? You didn't even shoot for a restaurant not owned by your parents. They'll kick the bucket one day. I might as well be the one who takes over. Jeez. Have some respect, would you? Exactly. I snicker at that. Respect? Me? I flash her a bright, overly friendly smile. See you around, Lizzie. She fumes, but forces herself to take a deep breath until her expression stills. Unfortunately. That was a pretty nice comeback, I'll give her that much. Beth, still up for lunch? A student slides through the door with a warm smile and a wave. I recognize her as a girl who's always with Elizabeth. Don't know much else about her. In the blink of an eye, Elizabeth's face softens into a friendly grin. I'll be right there. Yep, just in case it wasn't clear enough. Her hate is directed exclusively at me. She's the queen of angels to everyone else. Particularly this girl who I'd guess is the closest thing she has to a friend. Well, Ishimoto, it's been a pleasure. I bet it has. She lifts her chin and stiffly walks out of the room, nearly bumping into a startled Yaiko on the way out. As a train of second years, probably her groupies, pull her away, Yaiko slips next to me. Why did she talk to you? Not me, the great Yaiko Akari. Maybe because there's a limit of how many brain cells she's willing to sacrifice for conversation? Beats me. She's been doing that for a while. Really? We were in the same class last year. Really? I'm not surprised that he just learned about this. Then again, to be fair, I don't talk to Yaiko about my personal life. Yeah, something like that. It's not important. Yaiko evaluates me for a second with an unusually stoic expression, but quickly shakes it off, his face melting into a grin. So, what did you think about my dream earlier? This again. On second thought, maybe we should have kept talking about Elizabeth. Same as the other 200 times you've told me. It hasn't been Has it really? 203 to be exact. Huh? So that means you think it's amazing, right? Totally. I think it's the best dream in history, and it's so original and realistic. Thanks, dude. But I don't think you're aiming high enough. Huh? What should I add? Aim for the moon. He gasps if it's the best idea ever, the poor soul. Forget Tahiti, a mansion on the moon? You'd be the first, and probably the last. Just think about the possibilities. No one's even set foot on the moon. Imagine how famous I'll be if I build a mansion there. No one's even set foot? Seriously? I was about to say. Hello? Either I stepped into the conversation at the wrong time, or someone just came up with a really stupid idea. Enter Ru Hayeda, my friend of 10 years. Technically, she's a grade lower than me, but that doesn't stop us from hanging out. I love the music, by the way. It's really fun. I like it so far. She's stuck with me through thick and thin. She probably knows me better than I know myself. Beside her stands Masato Kuragane, hardy in both build and personality. If I had to describe him in one word, I'd use fire. Easily antagonized, hard to put out, and blazes every obstacle out of his way. Afternoon, little daisies. What's going on here? I'm gonna build a vacation home on the moon. Somehow, I can't say I'm surprised. I know, right? I'm brilliant. Think, the first man on the moon, and the first man to build a mansion on it. You're so bright, you're blinding me. What have you been telling him? That a giant leap for him is a small step for mankind. She has to think about that for a moment, but I'm rewarded with a smirk. Clever. I know. Look, if you kids are done yapping, Yama and I gotta head to track. What? I didn't think Yama was joining again this year. Of course he is. This is news to me. It doesn't seem like a good idea, considering he only went to one practice last year and ditched the rest. Oh, I ditched classes and probably clubs and all that. I don't know how my character is yet. I'm getting to know him. Well, he ain't ditching this year. Ain't that right, man? Well, now that you mention it. What's that? You guys didn't even win last year, Masato. No need to make a big deal. Mazato's eyes flare with the instinctual need to prove the worthiness of track. We're winning this year. I got a secret weapon. Really? Masato lights up at Rue's apparent interest. See, we lost last year because we didn't have good names. This year, I've got a great one. He pauses for a dramatic effect. Marvelous Maza! ... What? Well, at the very least, this is a pretty good opportunity to joke around. Wow, that's fantastic. I'll call myself Speed of Light, Mountain Destroyer. The hell? You should rename yourself to Striking Shadow, Dark Eradicator. Then we'll be unstoppable. Ain't no way I'm going with that. It was actually a pretty cool name. Yeah, he isn't great with sarcasm. I smirk at him, but before I can elaborate, the PA above us crackles to life. The club fair is officially open in the courtyard. Feel free to drop by and check out some of what your fellow students have planned. Already at the second day? Maybe the school's just making everything happen faster this year. I don't really see why. Izumo Imperial Boarding Academy has always done well for itself. Even throughout the recession, there's no need to change things now. Hey, it's club time. Let's go take a look. No thanks. I'd rather not be blacklisted. What does that mean? It means that she's afraid to go with you. You'll outshine her so much that the clubs won't be interested in her. Oh. Rue glares at me. I only wink back. Well, you shouldn't worry about that, my dear Rue. I'm sure I can use my substantial sphere of influence to get you a good spot. Also, if you play this game and I'm pronouncing something wrong, let me know down in the comments. I'd appreciate it. I'm already in a club, you know? Drama club. Oh, right. She's been in the drama club since last year, and somehow he's still forgotten. Then what was Yama talking about? Nothing, just acting like an idiot, as usual. Well, you know what they say, like attracts like. Rue elbows me sharply in the ribs, but her lips are pulling up at the corners. They also say opposites attract. Okay. Yeah, and we know which one you are. She slaps me playfully on the arm as Masato and Yaiko watch with blank stares. Quit the flirting. Hello? Did I just miss something? No more than you usually do. Jeez, everyone's being mean to Yaiko. Yaiko frowns for a moment, but eventually shrugs the exchange off. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need to find myself a club to grace with my innumerable talents. They're innumerable, all right. So without further ado, I bid thee farewell. He turns with a flourish of his hand, but Rue calls after him. You know that we'll be there, right? Huh? Club recruitment day. All the clubs will be here, including track and drama. Oh. Well, see you there. He whisks out of the room. You're coming to man the track booth, yeah? Me? Like I'm track's poster child. In fact, I'd probably just scare away potential recruits. Don't think like that. You can be a great asset, man. You just gotta believe. AKA every movie theme ever. We exchange snickers, but Masato grabs my arm. Whoa, getting all close to me, man? Really, man, you coming? Surprised by his sudden intensity, I contemplate it for a moment. It doesn't take long. Sure, why not? Really? Not like I have anything else to do. Masato grins, releasing my arm. Good, I gotta go set up, but I'm expecting you there. He dashes out of the room after a quick wave to Rue. She smiles back and promptly turns to me. Have you figured out why he wants you in track so badly? Not a clue. She hesitates for a moment and glances around the room. You know, you could join drama club instead. It could be a valid excuse for Masato. I think he just asked why I joined a different club when I could have joined track. But still, I think you'd really like it. Honestly, it sounds like it could be pretty fun. Rue seems to enjoy it. She often claims that it's just like when we played make-believe as kids. And make-believe is one of the few things that I don't mind doing. But it's so much work. It's no more work than track, idiot. Besides, it could be really fun. I'll take your word for it. She rolls her eyes and shoulders her bag. Well, fine, Mr. Grumpy Pants. Some of us have club booths to manage, so I'm gonna get going. I'll go with you. We walk and step to the door, almost into freedom, and then the strident voice of the teacher rips through the air. Ahem, Yama Ishimoto. Surely you didn't expect to escape so easily. Ah, yes, my attitude problems. I turn to Rue, suddenly pleading. Bail me out? Not a chance. Oh, come on, girl. Help me out. What? What? It builds character. I have plenty of character. Come on, throw up a distraction for me. I throw in a shameless dose of puppy eyes. She only pokes my forehead, sticking her tongue out. You win some, you lose some. Just be glad it's with the teacher instead of the police. She darts off as I call falteringly after her. But at least the police wouldn't bore me to tears. What was that, young man? I turn to find the teacher hovering right behind me. Whoops. Nothing. Great weather we're having, huh? She doesn't seem amused. At what point? It's the second day of school, unless she's referring to teaching me last year. Come to think of it, yeah, that's highly possible. It's clear that detention is doing nothing for your toxic behavior. Well, yeah, because I can nap in detention. Therefore, I've taken the liberty of recommending you for therapeutic mentorship, which will take place on campus at the discretion of our dorm room manager. Requirements will be 1 hour, 5 days a week. The mentor will need to sign off on every visit. The what now? Are you scheduling brainwashing sessions for me? Excuse me? You might have other ideas, young man, but civility and respect are integral cornerstones of our modern society. If it does result in scrubbing away at some of that arrogance of yours, then I say good riddance. I'm shocked by this unusually passionate outburst from her. She slows her breath, shaking as she jabs a book and envelope at me. Take this, Mr. Ryota's office. You know where it is. A tiny pinch of the tension releases. Mr. Ryota's the mentor? Maybe this won't be so bad. I give the book a once-over. The cover is somber and 100% boring. Black letters proclaim, primates of the 21st century, 100+ correctional techniques to improve the mindset of any underdeveloped adolescent. Well, gee, I'm honored. Take it. I take it. Goodbye, Yama Ishimoto. She flounces out of the classroom, clearly fed up with my shenanigans. Wordlessly, I turn and head down the corridor. Guess someone's a little touchy. Not that I can blame her. If I had a student like me, I hate him too. I tromp down the stairs to the first floor and stop before a door at the edge of the hallway, bearing the sign J. Ryota, Dorm Manager. I rap sharply on the wood 3 times. Mr. Ryota? What is it? Nuclear war? What? No. Meh, don't feel like opening the door for anyone less important. I could open the door myself. Locked it. Don't bother. I press my ear against the door, listening keenly. There it is, action-packed orchestral strings, just barely bleeding through the wood, faint clanging of swords and shields. Are you in a clan war, Mr. Ryota? Bah. A moment later, and the door's lock clicks open. Oh, what a nice room. It's all modern. I slip inside the room, holding back a smile. The office is minimalistic in its furnishings, but fairly welcoming. Warm light encompasses the room, highlighting the comfortable chairs arranged around a coffee table that bears a bowl of potato chips. It looks more like the office of a therapist rather than the office of a school dorm manager. In the corner, I spot a comely mahogany desk, on top of it which sits Jiro Ryota in a very dramatic position. Welcome to the Satin Room. Have you brought an offering to appease the Dark Lord? Indeed I have. With an equally exaggerated bow, I present the book and note for my teacher. Mr. Ryota's eyebrows scrunch in confusion. The hell is this? I, kind of got in trouble earlier for talking back. Instead of detention, the teacher's convinced that I need a more permanent solution. Like death? I can help you with that. She was thinking more along the lines of counseling, I believe. Oh, okay. But what the hell is this? He shakes the book emphatically. The curriculum, god damn it, that the teacher recommends for, helping me. Oh, right. Well, I'll put it where it belongs. He promptly throws it in the trash, which extracts a laugh from me. He's a pretty cool teacher. Now, to business. Let me read up on what exactly your teacher wants. His eyes drift over the paper that I silently hand to him. Ha! Oh boy, isn't this precious. Let me translate. Dear Mr. Ryota, I'm having trouble subduing a boy who actually has a brain and doesn't care for the inefficiencies of bureaucracy. Sincerely, a woman who is certainly the most boring person in her graduating class. Wow! I choke back laughter as he crumples the paper into a ball and lobs it in the trash. By the way, don't tell anyone I said that, or I might get fired, and then you'd have to take counseling from Mrs. Hanazawa? And then where would we be? Consider the NDA signed. Mr. Ryota reclines easily against his chair, kicking his legs on the table. So, how's the apartment? Still in one piece, mostly. Good to hear. And Phil? Phil? The little houseplant, the one I placed on your shelf. Your memory sucks more than mine, kid. Oh, right. I vaguely remember Mr. Ryota forming an odd attachment to a plant when I'd moved into my apartment, even to the point where he named him Phil. I think he died. That's a bit odd. I thought he was a fake plant. Nope, looked faked on the outside, I guess, but all real inside. A satisfied smile pulls at Mr. Ryota's lips, and I suddenly realize the metaphor. We're not talking about plants, are we? Your optimism is inspiring, kid. I would have thought your answer to be contrary. What, people look real on the outside, but they're all fake inside? Something like that. We were talking about plants. How was I supposed to know? Well, you know now. So now that you know, is your answer the same? No. Didn't even need to think about it? It's the truth. People pretend to be genuine on the outside, but inside they're nothing. Yeah, I guess that is true for a lot of people, but there's some real people out there, so. Mr. Ryota evaluates me for a moment, but to my surprise, there's no judging in his gaze. You must be a real party pleaser. I'll be here all week. What made you draw such a depressing conclusion? I can tell that his mind's on the fast track of psychoanalysis, childhood trauma, clinical depression, suicidal tendencies. Time to put that to rest, because if anything should be blamed, it should be my 100% natural disdain for humanity. Power of observation, if anything. People like to be strong, confident, independent on the outside. Peel that away, and what do you get? Their heart? Then the heart must be pretty pathetic. Did I ever say otherwise? No, I guess he didn't. Mr. Ryota eases from the topic and leans back on his chair, drawing a planner from his drawer. Well, if it were up to me, I'd say that you're just like any other surly teenager going through the first throes of senioritis. The paperwork's been signed, and you know how bureaucracy goes. I thought our government was supposed to be more efficient since the national changes. Ha, you assume the mayor actually does anything important. He scrawls something down on his tablet and taps the screen. My phone buzzes gently in my pocket. Your teacher recommended that we meet every day, but honestly, who has time for that? We'll just play it by ear, and you let me know if you ever get the urge to murder someone. Probably means you're due for another checkup. Why are we talking about murder right now? I check what he sent me, a copy of the spreadsheet that's taped outside his door, revealing his available times. Wow, how do you have this much free time? Life as a dorm manager swell, isn't it? I thought you at least had some kind of job. I'll let you in on a secret. The kids here don't cause much trouble, not because they're angels, not because they're boring, because they're too prissy. They don't want to get their manicured nails dirty with things like graffiti or booze. But they do need someone to cry to when they stub a toe, and the other teachers seem to think that I fit that job description. Actually, it's more likely that they don't want to deal with hormonal brats. So instead of being a helicopter parent, I get to be a benchwarmer who just nods and smiles once every few minutes. Geez, you're being like seriously honest with me right now. Like with me? Well, you'll be more interesting than the rest of them, I hope. Yeah, that sounds like the academy in a nutshell. Half the people are too snobby to be fun, and the other half are just too lazy to care. What do you get to hear? Whining about grades? Toxic relationships? Sometimes, but not always. At any rate, I can't exactly complain. Makes my job easy. Thank you for your massive contribution to society. You're absolutely welcome. They seem to equal yours. I snort. He chuckles. Yeah, this could have been really painful if I hadn't gotten Mr. Iota. Well, as long as you're loving, caring, and awe-inspiring mentor, I can hardly keep you from this beauty that is Club Recruitment Day. Oh no, I'm fine, really. Off you go, take a selfie and send it to me. Or I'll schedule an appointment tomorrow. But you said you need to expand your opportunities, broaden your horizons, go where no man has gone before. And most importantly, you need to get out of my office so I can check my clan. That's just sad, Mr. Iota. World domination calls. See ya. I like him. He's kind of cool, teacher. And without another word, he shoved me out and slammed the door in my face. I have no choice but to head to the school's courtyard. It doesn't take much time to find Mazuto behind the track table armed with I love track flags and I love track posters and I love track headbands. I get this very vague feeling that he loves track. He welcomes me enthusiastically, immediately piling all admin duties on me. But true to my word, I proceed to be completely useless throughout the recruitment process. Eventually, Mazuto seems to give up, handing me a simple sign to wave around. I amuse myself by coming up with truly terrible pitches. Want a six-pack? Join track. Looking for health hacks? Join track. Get a knack? Join track. Rid your lack? Join track. Pick up the slack? Join track. For reasons unknown, this is funny. For reasons unknown, Mazuto seems to love this. He grins and slaps me on the back. There you go. You just need to apply yourself. See? I'm pretty sure that those glances we're getting from the underclassmen aren't looks of admiration. What the heck? Despite my obvious shortcomings, Mazuto hooks 4 recruitments into track. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised that he got that many. A lot of the attendees of the school are the richer, lazier kids. I also noticed that he seems to be a lot easier on them than he was on me. When the club recruitment fair is done and everything's torn down, Mazuto and I head to the school entrance to wait for Ru and Yaiko. For reasons unknown, Mazuto is ecstatically chattering about my newfound enthusiasm. You killed it today, man. That's the kind of team spirit we need. Great. I might have just gotten myself into more trouble. Well, I guess I was in track for most of last year. Might as well do it again this year. To him, and then I said, Jesus on a gravy stick of mother load. We could use another man with your skills. And so he signed the contract with the blood from his veins, thereby permanently joining the drama club. Wow, I can't believe you're so good at recruiting people. You know what they've said to me? What? What? Something like, get a life, you're just in denial about reality. Well, darn my socks. Youth these days are just so cynical. The two come to a halt as Masato waves Rue over. Well, it looks like you guys have plans. I better leave you and you and everyone else to have some nice time together. What are you talking about? It's more like babysitting duty, where I'm the babysitter and I have to make sure a bunch of kids won't, set the house on fire and stuff. Aw, come on. He's your best friend, isn't he? And your childhood friend? Yeah, but have you guys made a childhood promise together? What? No way. Really? Really? Those kinds of things are more cliche than explosions in an action movie? Exactly. Well, think of it this way. Although explosions may be cliche, they're also a staple. You can't have a proper action movie without proper explosions. It's the same with life. You can't have a proper childhood friend without a proper childhood promise. I wince. Does she have to mention romance? Really? Oh look, there they are. Guess I better get going. Have fun storming the castle. The gear cheerily skips away as Rue sprints to us for refuge. I try for a smirk. Looks like you and Akira had a productive recruitment day. Akira Karube, Rue's best friend, current roommate, and self-appointed matchmaker. Also another person who I don't get along with, but let's be honest, do I get along with anyone? Akira was sure productive. I barely had any luck. I noticed that she's mastered herself surprisingly quickly. Well, I guess that 10 years of make-believe and drama club would do that to you. How'd you guys do? We got 4 new recruits. 15 liters of fresh blood. 15 liters? Did you just pull that number out of your head, or is it actually legit? Real woman? Real woman? Of course it's legit. Average weight, 55 kilograms. The average teenager has a blood volume of 7%. His or her total weight. We got ourselves 4 new recruits. Rue's eyes are already swimming as he raves on, seemingly unaware of the curious glances from the freshmen who've pegged him as a rough thug. Assuming no one's anemic, we got 55 times 4 in total kilograms, which is 220. Multiply that by 0.07 for the weight to blood volume ratio, bam, 15.4. Round it down to 15 for a nice round number, and we've got ourselves 15 liters of fresh blood. Did we really need to know all that? I mean, alright. And this is why Mazato's really good at catching people off guard, I'd say. I can't believe you actually calculated that. Why? It ain't no trouble. It sure sounds like trouble. Hell nah. You should see what we do in Honor Society. Yes, Honor Society. Not only does he participate in it, he's the president. Oh, did I not mention that he's literally good at everything? Athletics, academics, heck, probably even art. Except sarcasm. That's one area I can trump him in. The only area. Oh, here comes the great Yaiko Akari. Sure enough, a familiar shock of blonde hair pops up around the corner. Yaiko's beaming, but I notice that he's not holding a single sign-up page in his hand. Good day to you, my pitiful peasants. You've arrived just in time to witness my brilliant plan. Technically, he was the one who came to us, but I stay silent. You see, I've decided to create my own club, a club worthy of my immeasurable greatness. In other words, he got rejected by all the other clubs. Oh boy. You're making a club? Good for ya. I know, I'm gonna call it the Happy Club, and it'll be comprised of minions who will follow my every bidding. I think we just witnessed the creation of the shadiest club on campus. We will start by taking over the school, then Izumu, then Japan, then the entire world. Well, at least he doesn't lack ambition. And once my mansion on the moon is built, we will have domination over the universe itself. But he does lack brains. What you guys talking about all secret like? Nothing. We were just talking about how we haven't gone to GFC in a while. As completely unconvincing as this excuse is, she successfully turns Mazato's attention to food. GFC? I like the way you think, Rue. We better go now, before the dinner rush starts. He marches off, humming cheerily, as Yaiko blathers on about how amazing his new club will be. Great cover. I know. Totally inconspicuous. Just as inconspicuous as that time you wore a kimono. Of course she'd bring that up. You want to get tickled? You wouldn't dare. Whenever you mention anything about kimonos, I feel a sudden urge to tickle the nearest person. We better get going. We should follow Masato and Yaiko to GFC, yeah! She speeds away before I have the chance to stop her. I only chuckle to myself as I catch up. As we make our way to the lively shopping area a few blocks away from campus, a couple of details catch my attention. There's endless posters and billboards plastered with faces of politicians with broad, candid smiles, proclaiming in bold letters, "Back to prosperity, the recession is over," and "Do more with more," upon scrolling tablets and giant projected screens. That's normal. There's the smoker and his buddy, the random drunkard, the group of tourists clutching electronic pamphlets tilted, "Welcome to the glorious metropolis of Izumo," while taking pictures in front of every possible location. And most of all, the ordinary Izumute, power walking down the sidewalks with resumes clutched in their hopeful hands. That's also normal. Everything is normal, completely normal. So why do I feel so uneasy? Maybe it's the skyscrapers. I've never liked them. They're too tall, and I always get the impression that they're watching me. Not like guardians either, not some benevolent force that's watching over the city. More like staring, waiting for the right moment to strike. And then there's the smog that's terrible, musky pollution that sits on my skin like a coat of hard mud. Every breath is disgusting, but every breath is necessary. I hate the city. I really, really do. Too bad that there's nothing better. Not really. Too bad that Izumo has always been the best, if not only, option. Pay attention, you idiot! I'm startled out of my thoughts by Masato grabbing my arm and yanking me out of the street. Jesus, we almost got ran over, I think. Do you not see the red light? Red means stop. And stop means your velocity reaches 0. You could have been run over by a truck. Despite myself, I'm touched by their concern. I'm fine, let's go. After eyeing me for a long moment, Yaiko shrugs and bounds to GFC's automatic doors, activating the motion sensor with a flourish. Ladies first? Lady? Where? Right here. She slaps a hand on my shoulder with a cheery grin. Oh, good one. You mean Yama's been a girl all this time? Oh, heavens no, that'd be really awkward. Why? Okay, let's go have some chicken. Boy, I'm so hungry. Fried chicken. She quickly skips into GFC, leaving Masato thoroughly bewildered. I don't get it. Why is it awkward? Beats me. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have a good idea, but there's no way I'm bringing it up. Look, are we having chicken or not? Of course we are. What do you take me for? Well, good thing that neither he or Yaiko are very perceptive. Without further ado, we enter GFC. Dude, this is just like KFC. This is funny. General Fried Chicken has always been a favorite of students from the academy. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's within walking distance. It's also pretty nice considering that it's a fast food outlet. The tables are clean, the walls are lined with cushioned booths, and the red and beige paint slathered on the walls seems fresh and pristine. For some, the smell of heavy grease and oil is overbearing. For us, it's the smell of pure heaven. Ugh, this place smells like death. Well, most of us. Weren't you the one who was in such a hurry to come in? Fried chicken? Shut up. After we order and pick up our chicken, we slip into the nearest booth. Masato rifles through his wallet, a frown crossing his lips. Damn, the dough's cocky? The dough's cocky? I don't know what that means. I have no clue what you just said. What? Thankfully, no one else seemed to know either. Masato is slightly startled, as if he hadn't noticed that we were there. Nothing. So, how was class? That's pretty suspicious, but we all decide to let it pass. We're nice like that. Pretty good. I don't know anyone else in my class. What, are they giving you a hard time? What? Nothing like that. It's just, you know, you guys are a year older, and Akira's in a different class this year. But I'm sure you'll make truckloads of friends. Yeah, you're almost charming as me. Thanks, guys. Despite the cheery exchange, I noticed that there's a shadow to Rue's eyes. She definitely should have a lot of friends. She's likable, warm, fun, and talented, but for reasons unknown, chooses to spend most of her time with me, a useless cynic, and Akira, an optimist with a few screws loose. I've always wanted to ask why, but a small part of me is afraid that the moment I bring it up, she'll realize it and leave. No, I need to do this. It's the least I can do. Why don't you hang out with your classmates? The words come out a lot harsher than I intended, but Rue doesn't even seem to be offended. Her expression darkens, but it's one of anger, not hurt. I don't want to hang around people like them. Why not? They're a bunch of fakes. All they do is judge me, or others in the class, or even one another. They're not outright mean, but I don't like it when people talk behind my back. And they pick on this shy girl in our class for no reason. It's stupid. You really hate them, don't you? Not really, but we don't get along. She picks idly at her chicken. The air feels somber and heavy. Hey, you know what we need? A competition. Now's not the time to be bringing up competitions, Masato. Actually, that's a good idea. Wait, what? She's never said that before. Generally because Masato, I keep forgetting his name, never comes up with any good ideas. I'll have to sit this one out, or it won't even be a contest. So, you and me, Yama. No thanks. You don't even know what it is. Fine, what is it? Who can eat the most triple S's in the shortest amount of time? No thanks. Hey! The Triple S Hot Wings is GFC's most famous menu item, an order of blindingly spicy wings. I don't particularly feel like disabling my mouth forever, thanks. Rue wants to watch. I glance at Rue. The prospect of watching a competition does seem appealing to her, probably because she can make fun of the stupidity of it all. Well, if it'll cheer Rue up. Gosh, I need some serious help. Fine, you're paying though. Never fear, the generous Yaiko Okari shall bestow you with the necessary funds. He shells some cash to Masato, who takes it with a nod of thanks. Boy, this'll be fun, for me. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Why not? You mean, why wouldn't I want to participate in a competition that could potentially ruin my mouth and traumatize me forever? Yeah, exactly. This guy. Sometimes I wonder if he's trying to be this, well, stupid. Aw, yeah. Masato returns and slides 2 platters of Triple S hot wings to the center of the table. Now remember, every good competition needs a good audience. Let me hear it for Team Kurogane. Woo? Hey Rue, why ain't you cheering? Huh? I'm in character as an audience member who's cheering for Yama. Pshaw. And you and your drama club. Fine, give it up for Team Ishimoto. Yeah! Everyone in the restaurant drops into silence and stares at us. I elbow her in the ribs, feeling a flush creep up on my cheeks. Stop that. What? I'm in character. Sure you are. Okay, whatever. Let's get going. We lean forward, hands just a hair away from the tray, as Rue looks on with a expectant smile. 3, 2, 1, go! Masato immediately starts shoveling hot wings into his mouth, but I take a few moments to gather myself before I take a bite. The chicken seems to explode in my mouth, sending streaks of fire down my tongue. I cough violently and gulp down some water. This was a terrible idea. Woohoo! You mustn't fail me, marvelous minion. Everyone actually is watching. Hey, you gotta cheer for Yama or this isn't any fun. But now that I've noticed, it's kind of embarrassing. Gee, thanks. It's not like I'm doing this for you or anything. Grimacing, I shove the remainder of the wing into my mouth and spit it out. The meat burns down my esophagus and simmers in my stomach. Come on, Yama needs his cheering squad. Rip, rip, ree. Kick him in the knee. Rip, rip, brass. Kick him in the other knee. Go Sato! Go Sato! Masato splits out his bones on the platter. Three wings down already, and I've just started my second. For some reason, that makes me feel unusually competitive. Woo! You got this! You're beating him! Ice cream soda, banana split. You think your team's full of shift to the left, shift to the right. Stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. Oh, how weird. As she finishes her chant and quickly turns away to hide her embarrassment, I barely work through one more mouthful of fried chicken before giving up. There has to be another way. Yeah, 5th wing down. Keep going. Go Yama. She's like all embarrassed now. My eyes land on an inconspicuous packet sticking from beneath the chicken bucket. GFC hot sauce. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. While Masato reaches for his 6th wing, I surreptitiously, Jesus, these words, rip off the end of a hot sauce packet and squirt it all over his platter. He only smirks at me. Ha, gonna take more than a little ketchup to win. He bites triumphantly into the wing. Oh, that's not ketchup. He freezes. I swear that steam is coming out from his ears. It's GFC's signature hot sauce. Gah! Hot, hot, hot! Desperate Masato launches out of the booth and sprints to the soda machine. Wait, that was cheating! Is it cheating if there weren't any rules in the first place? Either way, it was pretty dirty. Poor Masato. She looks pointedly at Masato, who's slowly dragging himself back into the booth while chugging a huge cup of water. I feel a slight tinge of guilt at his suffering, but Rue's obviously improved mood makes it worth it. This ain't the end. Okay, sorry, I wrote that kind of slow. I'm like, what is he saying? He kneels over the table, somehow managing to continue drinking from his cup. Oh, that reminds me of the latest episode of Governor Mecker. Of what? You mean you haven't heard of Governor Mecker? Do you have to yell so loudly? Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't been kicked out for causing a public disturbance yet. But one cannot help but yell at the epicness of Governor Mecker. Okay, fine, what is it? It's this web series that a couple of my hallmates made. Remember, over the summer? Oh yeah, I saw you running around wearing a long blonde wig or something. Great, that's a mental image I'm not getting out of my head anytime soon. Yeah, it's about the President of the United States. Well, it's called Akima? I don't know. In our web series. Isn't that clever? Fighting other politicians to defend his country. So it's like a political drama? No way, dude, that's boring. They battle it out in giant robots. The president's is red, white, and blue. It even has an eagle motif and everything. That sounds like the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That sounds like the coolest thing I've ever heard. Is he for real? Of course, I'm headlighting the main event. I'm the president's aide. If you're the president's aide, you're a side character. You're not the lead. Huh? Really? Well, I for one am proud of you. You finally found your calling, being a background character. I know, right? I'm going to be a star. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the physical manifestation of the saying, ignorance is bliss. Episodes are all up on the website. Just search the title Governmecker and you're all set. We'll have to check it out. Are you serious? How else will I know how to viciously badmouth it? I can't decide whether to be offended or be impressed. Why not both? Hey, you two listening? Sorry, what? Nah, I was just saying that I gotta go back. I briefly checked my phone. 6:10 p.m. Almost Masato's curfew. Yeah, he has this thing where he goes to bed at 9:30 sharp every night. Just one more way that he's completely crazy. Disciplined, but crazy. Still, it's best to honor that. The only thing worse than a normal Masato trying to drag me to track is a grumpy Masato trying to drag me into track. Then let's go. Alright, I think I'm going to end this episode right here. It's pretty fun. I like it so far. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys thought. If you have any recommendations of games you want me to play, please let me know. Subscribe, hit the bell button to know when I upload the next episode of Lucid 9. You guys have a great night. Bye!